Tonight on Tabletop Commander, Sram, Senior Edificer. Hi everyone, and welcome to my latest video. I decided to go with a newer commander from the Revolt set that recently came out. I figured there's not too many deck techs on this particular commander already. And I do really like how this commander interacts in EDH. He is the card, he's a 2/2 creature that allows you to draw a card whenever an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell is played. So in this, we are going to make him a Voltron commander. I believe I'm using the term correctly, and that we're going to try to pile as many equipments on him as possible. So, let's get right into it. First, this is a modified Nahiri the Lithomancer deck. So, if you want to start building this deck, that's a pretty good place to start, although not really necessary. So, getting right into it. We're going to start off with enchantments today. We have a Ghostly Prison for a little bit of protection. Grasp of Fate for a little bit of removal. Cathar's Crusade to make our creatures bigger. Enlightened Tutor to fetch up those equipments. Swords to Plowshare for some removal, as well as Condemn and Comeuppance. Then I play a Secure the Waste, as this is a good way to get out a lot of blockers or some token creatures when your commander or other creatures are not available. Return to Dust for some artifact and enchantment removal. Open the Armory for fetching up some more equipment cards. A poorly altered Wrath of God. Someone tried to make this a black border for some reason, and it's clearly a 5th edition, and those were all white borders back then. So, for removal, Declaration in Stone for removal. Moving on to Planeswalkers, I play a Gideon for the tokens so that I always have a creature available in case my commander is killed and other creatures are not accessible. The Nahiri that came with the original deck has been put into the 99. Although it's not the commander anymore, it still interacts very well with equipments, so I decided to leave her in as part of the 99. Elspeth, Sun's Champion for both the removal, the ult, and being able to put out tokens, so I always have a creature available. Mentor the Meek for some draw. Core Sanctifiers for some more artifact and enchantment hate. Knight of the White Orchid for some getting lands when we need some lands. Recruiter the Guard for fetching up a much needed creature. Thalia. This is more of a card that is going to interact better with Odric. I play Odric in this deck, which obviously has not come up yet, but the first strike for Odric, as well as creatures and non-basic lands coming into play tap to slow your opponents down. Priest and Captain. There are a number of cards that should be in this deck that are not yet in this deck, so I'll probably later be doing like a version 1.1 or something along those lines, in which I'll probably take this guy out. He makes a token every time he deals combat damage to a player. So I played him in here. This deck originally had a soldier theme, and I'm slowly pulling all that out. But until I get a better card, he's in there because he makes the token, as well as having first strike for Odric. Angel Invention, another great Odric interactor, in that it has flying vigilance and first strike, as well as makes my other creatures bigger. Serra Ascendant for the lifelink and the fact that she's a big thug and is great for dealing damage if my commander is not available. Captain of the Watch, another decent card that's more or less a leftover from when this was a soldier deck. Again, this might be a card that gets replaced, although it does beef up soldiers, and there's still a few soldiers in this deck, and it makes tokens which are soldiers. So that in and itself is a pretty good thing. Sunblast Angel for removal. Arrow Responder, pretty much with Defying Vigilance and Lifelink. It's a great creature to stack equipments on when my commander is not available, and it also interacts well with Odric. Gisela, pretty much the same reason. Solemn Simulacrum, pretty much it's an EDH deck, so we play Solemn Simulacrum. Solemn Recruit for the double strike, as well as the fact that he gets bigger, or she gets bigger. I guess that's a she in the picture for sure. So she gets bigger as revolts are triggered. Handwear Militia Captain, another big thuggy guy for stacking equipments onto. Hidden Dragon Slayer for some removal, as well as it is a lifelink guy and we can stack equipments on. The much talked about and seldom seen Odric Lunarch Marshal. Getting him out is a great thing because I deliberately played all those things that have things that will interact with him. Sun Titan, because most of this deck is converted mana cost 3 or less, so we get stuff out of the grave with him. Mirren Crusader, another big beats guy that's good for stacking equipments on, as well as interacting with Odric. Hero of Bladehold, another pretty much a big thuggy creature that makes soldier tokens and good for stacking stuff on when I don't have my commander out. Now we're moving on to the stuff that interacts specifically with the equipments or has metalcraft or interacts with artifacts in some way that help the deck along. In Indomitable Angel, as long as I have metalcraft active, all of my equipments have Shroud. Stonehaven Outfitter. This is just a creature that interacts well with equipped creatures, lets you draw a card when an equipped creature dies, and also gives equipped creatures +1/+1. Pure Steel Paladin. Kind of an expensive card, but well worth the money. As long as you have metalcraft active, all of your equipments are 0 cost. So, a 0 cost equip ability. As well as whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under my control, I can draw a card. So it's another card drawer to go along with Sram. Stoneforge Mystic, another somewhat pricey card, but interacts very well with equipments, lets you fetch up an equipment, and lets you put equipments in from your hand directly onto the battlefield. Relic Seeker, great for fetching up equipments. And then moving on to artifacts, getting into the meat of the deck now. Pearl Medallion for making all our stuff cheaper. Sensei's Divining Top, because it's an EDH deck, and there you go. Soul Ring. Moving into the equipments, we have Lightning Greaves and Swiftfoot Boots for protection. Skull Clamp, pretty much a given, great for drawing cards. Mask of Memory, also a decent card for drawing cards. It came with the original Nahiri deck, and you could take it out if you want, but I like to get them draws in. Sword of the Animist for fetching up lands. Bone Horde for making your dudes big. Sword of Vengeance. Stratus Scythe, making stuff big. Captain's Claws, making more tokens. Luxodon Warhammer for trample and lifelink and making our dude big. Then we have a full set of swords, Sword of Body and Mind, Light and Shadow, War and Peace, Ice and Fire, Feast and Famine. Then we have Batterskull, another kind of pricey equipment, but is well worth it. Umezawa's Jitte, pretty much an auto-include on this guy too, or this thing, I should say. Argentum Armor, again came with the original deck, great include, destroys permanents, and makes stuff really big, and really goes well with the Pure Steel Paladin. Masterwork of Ingenuity, again came with the deck, an auto-include, it's a 1-cost clone for one of your equipments. And Quietus Spike. great, great include. It pretty much it gives your creature death touch, and also it deals combat damage. The player loses half of their life rounded up. So it's either blocking your creature automatically dies no matter what, or let it through and lose half your life no matter what. And that concludes my EDH deck tech for Sram Senior Edificer. Be sure to like and subscribe and share and all that, and look out for the upcoming improved version, which I'll probably put it out in about a month or so. There's a number of equipments I want to include, and a number of creatures that interact well with equipments that I really want to include as well. So, have a great day.